Previously, you would have what you would call is just a payments player. You would have an e-commerce player, you would have an m-commerce player, you would have a shared economy player. It would be your Uber, your PayPal. They used to deal separately perhaps in unique and separate industries. Now what I think you're seeing is the emergence of what we call overall ecosystem players. So they are players who they perhaps start off with an e-commerce website and then they move into payments, and then through their payments they tap into shared economy payments. Through their payments platform they then launch funds which maybe might even be sold on their e-commerce platform. Apart from funds, they can also offer loans which are offered to perhaps SME vendors and things like that. So I think what we're seeing is just the emergence of players who deal in multiple industries. The solo industry players of just a pure e-commerce player, of a pure payments player, I think those are starting perhaps to disappear. Every major tech player that has emerged within, I think, the past 5 years or will emerge in the future, I think in some way or another has to fulfill more than one role within the ecosystem itself. They have to play 2 or 3 characters in the overall digital landscape. How does that affect banks as such? Well, I think if you look at the bank, it affects them in a very, very big way. When a tech player who can issue payments and they can issue loans and they can offer funds and they can offer savings at rates which are perhaps in many cases, if you look at the example of China, they offer better rates, better interest rates, better payment terms and better payment rates when compared to what the incumbent banks are doing there. I think it affects them in quite a direct way. They are directly competing with banks as such. For credit cards, an example of credit cards, in some ways, if you're dealing with payments, then payments which can take the place of credit cards, which act as alternatives to credit cards, can effectively replace them in markets where perhaps credit cards are not so widely used. And Financial/Alipay started off dealing with strictly payments for the Taobao website in China. Now that has morphed into what is essentially a full-service financial digital player, offering loans, payments, funds, and not just operating in China, but now they have made investments in Southeast Asia, which includes Thailand and also Singapore and Malaysia. They are basically competing in the direct areas where banks have traditionally played in. They are a very, very direct competitor. The way the banks are reacting, I think in some ways they've been quite ad hoc. In banks across Asia Pacific, we've seen banks perhaps react to new digital payments by trying to bring out their own perhaps mobile wallet, what they would call as a digital payment, in reaction to what they see coming out of the oven from the fintechs. I would say that this has been met with mixed success. Some cases where perhaps banks have worked together with other banks or other telcos, or perhaps telcos, and create a unified and hybrid product which can perhaps take much more market share than would be possible if the bank went alone. In those cases, then I think we've seen some success, and there are some examples we can cite from Myanmar and a couple of other markets in Southeast Asia. In most cases, I think what we have seen is perhaps a story of muted/no success, where banks have tried to go on these sort of initiatives by themselves. In many cases, yes, where the bank has gone solo, they've tried to release their own product, their own payment solution, which requires their own infrastructure and carries their own branding and is not compatible with solutions from other vendors, from other banks out there. Those basically have met with the same problem of not being able to reach critical mass in terms of the customers that they are able to grab. Many of these new initiatives turn up every year, and just as quickly I think we see them disappear. I think payments will continue to be more convenient, more seamless, and they will continue to be faster. I think those are the 3 main things.